Hello everyone, this is Childa here, and welcome back to another video. Today, RobTop Games released not the 2.2 second sneak peek that we've all been waiting for the past week after he announced it, but he uploaded a quick little video that is titled Geometry Dash 2.2 Keyframe System. So if you scroll down here, he says, still working on sneak peek 2, but wanted to show a new tool I added, needed it to create some effects in the level, and thought it turned out pretty cool. So basically, RobTop had an idea to use this feature, or a feature that this feature would be able to create in the new level. And so he was just like, I'm gonna code a new trigger and figure out how we can make a new little system in the game, and now he's showing it off to us. Firstly, I want to point out that that new icon looks really cool. It's a little elephant, looks so cute. I love it. I love getting the little icon previews. But this is a really unique trigger, and it kind of takes the place of a few other triggers and kind of mushes them all into one. So let's get right into it. Keyframe animation. So as you can see, the spike moved from this point A to point B, and those two little circles with arrows are keyframes. And so you can code these and add as many as you want, and it kind of creates a little path. As you can see, he's just adding more in the path, and it'll, connect. And then this is the biggest thing, in my opinion, or one of the biggest things. It's not just movement, it's rotating and scaling. So I'm wondering if this is the animate trigger combined with a rotate and scale trigger, or it's just all packaged within the animate interface. He doesn't really show us, what the interface of the trigger looks like when you open it, but it's kind of blending together a move trigger, a rotate trigger, and a scale trigger all in this one trigger on this path. So you can code, this one to be pointing in this direction, and it's this size, so it's going to expand to that size, and you can code it to rotate. I guess the arrow kind of dictates the direction that it'll face, because if you see here, the arrows were all facing up, so there was no rotation. But the arrow kind of dictates, where it rotates to. The top of the spike kind of points to the point of the arrow, and then obviously, the size of it dictates the scale. And then easing, which is cool. You see that with the move triggers too, having the different effects, whether it bounces or eases in and out, things like that. Now, this is the one thing that isn't really linked to the move trigger or the rotate trigger in any way, curving. So it's a more fluid motion, which you can't really have on the move trigger. You can kind of somewhat get around it by, changing the X and Y to kind of be proportional, and it can move diagonally. But this is beautifully curved. I mean, you just have parabolas here. It's just such a smooth little motion. And then the groups. So, you make a little skull or a little design, whatever, set it to a group, and he's showing here different frames, obviously. And you can kind of toggle between those frames with the animate trigger and get a pretty cool animation, which he shows off here. So you don't really need to do that manually anymore with move trigger, scaling it, things like that. And it's just so much more like fluid and dynamic. With all those different frames in there. So that's really it, but I just think it's really cool how the game has kind of evolved so much, where new triggers are like replacing old features. We kind of see that a little bit with the new 3D stuff that RobTop has showed off, where you can kind of like warp blocks to kind of fit the dimensions of the 3D blocks, and the 3D blocks are kind of obsolete. I made a meme about this probably 3 years ago now. Anyway, this new animate trigger is really just going to revolutionize things, and you're not really going to need to use a rotate trigger for these animations. Obviously, a rotate trigger will still be useful if you're doing a more static rotation, just like one, or obviously a move trigger if you're not, doing a crazy animation. But just super dynamic in terms of moving directionally, curving motion, rotating, just all this crazy stuff. Now, I'm sure you can probably also change like the time it takes to go between those, because you can see as soon as he gets onto the animate trigger, this path starts. So I assume that, you can kind of control the speed of it. Again, it'd be cool to see the interface, but obviously we'll see that in the main update. But just so much new stuff for creators to really like sink their teeth into. I haven't created too much recently, but I think it's really going to be fun to play around with this and see how it really changes things. And obviously, animating with groups too. It's just going to be massive. So I'm really excited that he is kind of showing this off as something that's like going to be featured in the new level. So we kind of know that this is going to be a big thing in the new level if it is explorers, being able to see that there'll be a lot of animations. I remember I used to think that RobTop kind of would build levels in the beginning of the update, but it kind of makes sense that he builds the level after he fleshes out all the other features, and then he builds the level with all the other features in mind, right? So that kind of makes sense, you know, that he's making these levels toward the end of the development. So that's just more of a sign that the update is really, really close, because the levels are kind of getting done and all the features have been done before the creation of the levels. So I love it. I love how he just kind of is like, hey, you know what? I'm probably not going to get the sneak peek out in exactly a week, like I said last week, but he gives us this little preview video to kind of keep us engaged and to show a feature of the level, and then we'll get to see it in action when the sneak peek actually drops. So really cool little video. I love the elephant icon, just a small thing, obviously, but this is going to be really revolutionary in terms of a system that's really going to really just going to change the way that objects are moved and levels are made, and just a keyframe system is really, really cool. And I cannot wait to see it in the new level. Hopefully the sneak peek comes out really soon, but if not, this is a nice little video to hold us over and show us a nice little feature. I know everyone's really excited about this in the community, so that's my quick little review. Leave your ideas and thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious to see like what you guys are thinking this could be used for, and maybe what the new level will have in terms of this keyframe feature. So that's about it. Nice little RobTop video. Really happy he's showing us this, and I cannot wait for the sneak peek. So leave your thoughts below. Make sure you like and subscribe for more new and upcoming content reviews. And this has been Norcda Childa signing off. See you guys in the sneak peek.